50-year-old Michael Torres had lost everything: his job, his marriage, his house, his savings. Everything he'd built for 25 years was gone. And on the worst night of his life, sitting in a cheap motel room with nothing left, he turned on the TV. And Rocky was playing. For the 100th time in his life, he watched Rocky Balboa get knocked down and get back up, and he thought, if Rocky can do it, maybe I can too. Tonight, sitting in the audience at Jimmy Kimmel Live, Michael was about to meet the man who created Rocky, Sylvester Stallone. And what Sly would tell him would change everything. It was a cold February night at the El Capitan Theater. The energy was electric because Sylvester Stallone was here. At 78 years old, every appearance felt legendary. Jimmy Kimmel walked out to thunderous applause. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a true icon, the Italian stallion himself. Please welcome Sylvester Stallone. The audience erupted, and Sly walked out, still moving like a fighter, that unmistakable presence. They shook hands. Sly sat in the guest chair. For 20 minutes they talked about his career, about the Rocky films, about Creed, about what it's like to have created one of the most iconic characters in cinema history. Rocky means so much to so many people, Jimmy said. Why do you think that story resonates? Sly leaned back, thought for a moment. Because Rocky isn't about boxing. It's about life. It's about getting knocked down and choosing to get back up. That's universal. Everyone gets knocked down. The audience applauded. You've been very open about your own struggles before, Rocky, Jimmy said. How hard was it? Sly nodded. I was broke. I was sleeping in the Port Authority bus station. I had $106 in my bank account. I was selling my wife's jewelry. I even had to sell my dog because I couldn't afford to feed him. His voice was heavy. That was the lowest point. Selling my best friend for $25. The audience was silent. But you wrote Rocky during that time, Jimmy said. I did. I wrote it in 3 days because I was desperate, and I knew if I didn't do something, I was going to stay at the bottom forever. And the rest is history, Jimmy said. Well, almost, Sly said. The studio wanted to buy the script, but they didn't want me to star in it. They offered me $360,000, which at the time was more money than I'd ever seen. But I said no, because I knew if I sold Rocky, I'd be selling my shot. My only shot. He paused. And I had $106 in the bank. But I held out. Because sometimes you have to bet on yourself even when everyone tells you you're crazy. The audience stood and applauded. Jimmy smiled. That's an incredible story. Sly, we have some folks here tonight. Would you mind taking some questions? I'd love to, Sly said. Jimmy walked into the audience with a microphone. Hands went up everywhere. Jimmy pointed to a man in the 10th row. He was in his 50s, wearing a worn jacket. He looked tired. The kind of tired that comes from years of fighting. You, sir, stand up. The man stood slowly. What's your name? Jimmy asked. Michael. Michael, you got a question for Sly? Michael looked at Sylvester Stallone, at this man who'd played Rocky, who'd created the ultimate underdog story. Not really a question, Michael said. His voice was shaking. More like, I need to tell you something. Jimmy's expression shifted. Okay. What did you want to tell him? Michael took a breath. 2 years ago, I lost everything. I was a construction manager. Made good money. Had a wife. 2 kids. A house. I thought I had it all figured out. He paused. Then the company I worked for went under. I lost my job. Couldn't find another one. I was 48 years old and nobody wanted to hire me. Too old. Too expensive. His voice cracked. I burned through my savings in 6 months. Couldn't pay the mortgage. Lost the house. My wife left. Took the kids. And I ended up living in my car. The audience was silent. Sly sat forward in his chair. I'm sorry, man, Sly said. Michael nodded. It gets worse. I tried to start over. Took any job I could find. But I was so depressed I could barely function. I thought about ending it. Multiple times. Several people in the audience gasped. But one night, I was sitting in my car. It was winter. Freezing cold. And I was watching Rocky on my phone. For probably the 100th time in my life. And I got to the part where Rocky says, "It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward." Michael's voice broke. And I realized something. I'd been knocked down, but I hadn't gotten back up. I just stayed down, given up. And I thought, if Rocky can do it, if you can do it, maybe I can too. Sly stood up from his chair. He walked to the edge of the stage. Michael, would you come up here? Michael looked shocked. What? Please, come up here. Michael slowly made his way down the aisle, climbed the stage steps. Jimmy brought a chair. Michael sat next to Sly. Sly looked at him. Tell me something. Are you still living in your car? Michael shook his head. No, I found a job, warehouse work. It's not what I used to do, but it's something. I'm renting a room. It's small, but it's mine. That's getting back up, Sly said. That's not small. That's everything. Michael wiped his eyes. But I lost my family. My wife won't talk to me. My kids barely know me anymore. I lost 25 years of my life. Sly leaned forward. Michael, can I tell you something? When I sold my dog, I thought I'd lost everything too. I thought I was done. But you know what happened? Michael shook his head. After Rocky came out, I went back to find him, the guy who bought him, and I paid him $15,000 to get my dog back. The audience laughed through their tears. I paid $15,000 for a dog I sold for $25. But you know why? Why? Michael asked. Because some things are worth fighting for, and you don't give up until you get them back. Sly paused. Your wife left because you were down. I get it. That happens. But your kids, they're still yours, and you can still fight for them. You're not done, Michael. You're not even close to done. Michael was crying now. But I'm 50 years old. I'm starting over with nothing. So was I, Sly said. I was 30 when Rocky came out, which back then felt old. Everyone told me I missed my shot, that I was too old, too poor, too stupid to make it. But I didn't listen, because the only person who decides when you're done is you. The audience was on their feet, not yet applauding, just standing because they had to. Michael, you know what Rocky is really about? Sly said. It's not about winning. Rocky loses in the first movie. He doesn't beat Apollo. But he goes the distance. That's the point. It's not about winning. It's about refusing to stay down. Sly looked directly at Michael. You lost your job. You lost your house. You lost your marriage. But you didn't lose. You're still standing. You're still fighting. That's not failure. That's Rocky. Jimmy walked over. Michael, we want to do something. We're going to help you. Job training, career counseling, whatever you need to rebuild. Michael covered his face with his hands. Sly put his arm around him. And Michael, I want you to do something for me. I want you to keep fighting. For your kids. For yourself. Because your story isn't over. This is just the montage. You know, the part in the middle of the movie where Rocky's training. Where it's hard and it hurts and you want to quit. But you don't, because the big fight is coming. The audience erupted. People were crying, cheering, standing. Sly stood up, pulled Michael to his feet. And then Sly did something nobody expected. He put his fists up, like Rocky. "Come on, show me." Michael laughed through his tears. "What? Show me you're still a fighter." Michael put his fists up, and Sylvester Stallone, 78 years old, threw a slow-motion punch. Michael blocked it. The audience roared. "There it is," Sly said. "You're still in the fight." After the show, Sly and Michael sat backstage for over an hour. Sly told him the full story about being broke, about sleeping in bus stations, about getting rejected 1,500 times before Rocky got made. "You think you're done at 50? Sly said. "I'm 78 and I'm still fighting. Age doesn't matter. What matters is whether you quit." Before Michael left, Sly gave him something, a signed photo of Rocky, but he'd written something on it. "It ain't over till it's over. Keep fighting." Sly. 6 months later, Sly received a letter. "Sly, I wanted you to know something. After our conversation, I didn't give up. I took the job training Jimmy offered, got certified in HVAC repair, started my own small business. It's not much yet, but it's mine. And last week, my son called me. For the first time in 2 years, he said he saw the episode. He said he was proud of me. We're taking it slow, but we're talking. I'm getting my family back, one round at a time. Your photo is on my wall, and every morning when I wake up, I read what you wrote. It ain't over till it's over. You were right. I'm still in the fight. Michael." That episode became one of the most watched in Jimmy Kimmel Live history, because Michael asked what millions of people ask when they hit rock bottom. Is it too late for me? And Sylvester Stallone gave the answer. It's never too late. As long as you're breathing, you're still in the fight. Michael Torres was 50 years old when he lost everything, but he's 52 now, and he's still standing, still fighting, still moving forward, because that's what Rocky taught him. That's what Sly lived. Life will knock you down. That's guaranteed. But getting back up? That's a choice. And Michael chose to get back up. That's not a movie. That's real life. And sometimes real life is even better than the movies.